Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Michael,
I'm a Johnny.
and this is the Casual Discussion. If you have never, if you're new to our channel, our casual discussions usually are on a random topic or idea or something related to anime. And this is actually going to be our very first one without our best super good buddy, Lucky, who's a co founder of this channel. And he is taking an possibly indefinite hiatus. So we wish him luck in his future endeavors. And we love you, buddy. So I wanted to, before we even really get into it, do a minute synopsis of some things might be changing. Johnny and I, our schedules are also we're very busy. So we're gonna try to keep up a weekend talk and a casual discussion. Other things that might be coming out on the channel are whatever floats into our brain because we are casuals. So we are doing this specifically as a hobby because we have a lot of fun talking about anime with each other and, reaching out to all of you and hopefully giving another person out there for you to listen to and enjoy. So we decided today we're going to cover the new season 2 of uh, Record of Ragnarok. Yeah, Record of Ragnarok season 2. Weirdly, the first 7 episodes because the fight went a little long this time. We're gonna do like fight to fight, and we'll cover the second fight next weekend. So if you were trying to catch up, go watch 6 episodes of that right now, and then come back to us.
Good 6 episodes, but
Yeah. If you don't know what Record of Ragnarok is, it's on Netflix. It is a battle between the gods and the humans. And because the gods are all powerful, the humans get Valkyries, and they get this power called Volunder, which the Valkyries turn into weapons for the humans so that they are able to damage and fight the gods appropriately. Wow. I didn't expect myself to truncate that entire series down into a few sentences.
Yeah, hilarity ensues.
Yeah. It's actually very interesting. They do like a thing where they're like, "Hey, here's the full backstory of this character," and then here's the sort of the backstory of the god, like if it needs to happen, and then it's like, okay, now they battle.
That's true. I don't remember Poseidon really getting a backstory back in season 1.
It was like what was going on with the mysterious fourth brother or something like of Zeus's.
Yeah, I just remember. I just think it's funny. Hercules got a big backstory. I mean, appropriately, I guess. But
yeah, so what a smooth segue. So the first battle is Hercules versus Jack the Ripper.
Cheerio.
Yeah. First of all, if you don't know who Jack the Ripper is, you're missing out on a lot of you should watch Fate. Some other things.
Great guy.
Great guy. He is one of the most notorious serial killers I think in history. Because way back in England's history, he basically took out prostitute after prostitute after prostitute, and for some reason, I think that's the history of him. Is just like the streets of London specifically felt incredibly unsafe because this guy was out and nobody knew who or what was going on with him or her backstory. So most of the other things that are about Jack the Ripper are all made up. But I think they did a pretty good job giving this guy an interesting backstory.
I actually really liked it, and I mean that's a thing. I mean, I should have done a little bit of research on Jack the Ripper, but all I really know is, yeah, he was a famous mass murderer and he took out a lot of people, and he was never caught, I guess, or something. So, I mean, they completely got away with it. So it's gnarly. And so you got to imagine that they're just such a terrible person, and even in this fight, I mean, as we're going into who Jack the Ripper and who Hercules is, because I mean, well, I guess we should. First episode comes off, and they come together in this awesome scenery. I'm backtracking a little bit to kind of give some foreground on what we're talking about. And I'll be honest, it first really caught me off guard because I mean they have a battleground set up. I mean the first I think 2 fights were just yeah you're gonna be on this pillar
Yep.
in the middle of an arena. Go ahead, duke it out.
Yeah.
And in this one they're like no, you're gonna fight in a replica
Of
London.
Yep.
And that's insane and it's ridiculous. And I couldn't imagine why they would need to do that. Why would they would want to do that? And this fight was amazing, and it showed how it's all crazy and it all mattered. And man, watching them fight in London was actually really fun, and I think it was a good way to kind of. I don't know. I don't know if the deck was extremely like stacked in Jack's favor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess you could definitely say that he had a lot going for him, and
Yeah.
Hercules was just very much like, nah, man, honor amongst all, and I'm gonna come at you with the courage of a lion.
Yeah. Well, and that's what also was interesting, right? Is like for anime, and whenever you take like a character like a hero, a villain, some popular figure like what was it? What was that other historical thing that we watched? Drifters. Like for Drifters, it's like they take historical characters and they bring them into their world so they can help this fantasy world. Some good, some bad, they fight. There's an element, there's some dramaticism that has to be used to where you're like, okay, well, this character was a human. Like, all these people are just regular people. And they have to play it up a little bit. Like, these characters need special powers. They need to be able to fight, in this anime, they need to be able to fight gods. And in the idea of it, a normal human cannot fight a god. And I would also propose to you, Johnny, I don't know, like, thinking about it, even with a special weapon, I would also say they would not be able to fight gods.
I mean, I don't know. If we're just allowing whatever kind of thought, I'm like, sure, if they're given some kind of god killer weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Admittedly, in one of the next fight, which we're not going to talk about, but I mean, in the next fight where it's more of a body enhancement.
Yeah.
That's a little kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's where it is fun that it's anime. And I mean, but it does make you wonder, like, I don't know how that would really work necessarily. And especially in this instance where we have this, for all necessary purposes, he's a normal dude.
Yeah.
It's just Jack the Ripper. I don't know. He had, as we find out in this, in Record of Ragnarok, he had a pretty messed up childhood.
Very messed up childhood.
Man, I don't know. He's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, except for his one special power. And, we're talking heavily about Jack the Ripper. We're going to get to Hercules at some point. But he has, like, a special eye, which I was hoping they would get into that. Mm-hmm. Like, that his special eye was, like, a gift from the gods. Or, like a gift from Loki, the trickster god. Or, like, something. But he was born with a special eye that could read emotions. And there's there's stuff like synesthesia, where you can see colors as things, like things occur as colors.
Yes, casual. Yes.
So for him, it's like, okay, well, he's seeing emotion as colors, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, he like sees an aura, if you will, a person's inner light, inner color.
Yeah, and so he's all bent because he sees the pure color of his mom being so kind to him, and then realizes that's all fake. And then goes, oh, the purest color is when someone's dying. Fear. So we don't see any other superhuman gifts given to him, but he is able to take several punches from Hercules, which I was like, yo, how's this normal human guy taking punches from a demigod?
Yeah, and going into his Hercules' backstory, it got me wondering, because I didn't know, how strong is Hercules in this instance? I mean, I don't know, you can always be like, strong as Hercules, and, you can assume from there, but I mean, in this context of Record of Ragnarok, I mean, comparing him to the other fight with Zeus, because as we find out, I guess to go into Hercules' backstory a little bit, he was a normal guy originally, and through so many trials and growing up, he eventually attains godhood, and in Record of Ragnarok, he drinks the blood of Zeus, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And he survives this chain reaction within him, and he gets the powers of Zeus.
Yeah.
At least his strength. So it's definitely, I don't seeing what he did. I don't know how Jack the Ripper can survive. More than one or two, but hey, that's anime for you. And I mean, I don't know. That's fine. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to make excuses, but I have no idea.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like your sentence is like it's anime. It's like who cares? Like doesn't matter because it's cool to watch. That's exactly what it is. It's we find out that Jack the Ripper his Volander is a set of gloves that he gets that changes everything he touches into a divine weapon. And that's basically what the Volanders are, is they give a human a divine weapon to be able to kill the gods with, because the gods are immortal. They need a way to be killed. And that was such a major twist in this series of episodes. Because like there's a time where Jack the Ripper, again, don't know how he does it. He's just a human, throws a clock face at Hercules, and turns that entire clock face into a divine weapon and cuts off Hercules' arm. Which I was like, dude, total meathead move to be like, I can just grab it, and it just cuts off his arm. It's like, dude, why don't you just dodge out of the way? Like some real easy things that you could be doing. But that whole thing was actually really cool. Their last episode fight and going into episode 5 was intense because both of them were like doing crazy stuff to each other. Like Hercules was riddled full of daggers and cuts and his arms cut off, and then Jack the Ripper has a pole like struck straight through him. And like gets punched several times into buildings. So they're both like really messed up by the end, which is a little different from the previous fights. Like the amount of damage that's shown on these characters is actually like quite intensive. Well, I think like the Adam Zeus fight from season 1, it's like I'm beating each other up, and they don't really show much except for like Zeus has a punch fist in his head.
Yeah, they both just kind of got all like scratched up, beat up.
Yeah,
but, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say Hercules, but that wasn't it at all.
Hercules
and Jack the Ripper, they get really messed up and all bloody because they're throwing gnarly stuff at each other. Jack the Ripper throws Big Ben at him, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's really sick.
And I mean, man, this whole fight, I mean, just going back to you talking about how he got his arm and how it's very simple stuff. I mean, I think that's why this fight was really awesome, especially, I don't know, I don't want to say for me, but I mean, just I really appreciated it eventually because the matchup I thought was really silly at first. Because, how's Hercules going to lose? Hercules going to lose. But, man, it was definitely the... there's some metaphor for that I can
brain versus brawn. It's not that Hercules is dumb,
but it's more than that. It's true, just honor and courage versus by all means whatsoever. Because he lies about what his secret ability or his Volander is like 4 times.
Yeah,
he says, it's
a bag.
Yeah,
I just pull out divine weapons.
It's my scissors.
Oh,
just kidding. It's this bag that has endless stuff. Just kidding. It's everything. It's the gloves. I lied again.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep lying about it. And it was crazy. And it was just a great fight. And honestly, at the end, it was really close. It was really close.
And you're rooting for both people. Also, with Hercules' special powers, it was interesting how they manifested themselves throughout the episode because they're like, okay, how are we going to... we know Hercules' power. He's like super strong. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's near invulnerable. Like because of his strength, it's hard to kill him. But they're like, okay, what else can we give him? Well, he's got the power of his labors, which I thought was interesting the way it manifested. It was like when Cerberus came out near the end, it was like he gets the power of Cerberus, and basically his strength grows, and he becomes just a wild dog that's bent on killing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember the rest of the labors because that was like the coolest one, but. Each of the labors kind of did something else for him.
That was one thing. There wasn't really a uniform thing how they manifested. It was definitely like first labor, giant, I don't know, energy attack lion goes and chases you down.
It was changing his weapon a couple times.
Yeah, and then his weapon turned into like an eagle at one point. And so, I don't know. They were a little strange. And like, I thought the tattoo was just going to be it, just like, as this tattoo envelops my body, I get more hurt, but more powerful.
Yeah.
Then they just started doing crazy stuff, and that's okay. That was kind of
ridiculous. It was really fun. I really did appreciate it. I thought it went weirdly a little long. They were really diving headfirst into their backstories, but I think for coming back after like what a year or two. I'm actually gonna double check
Well, I
that
think
right
that's
now.
also one thing. The other gods didn't get backstories like Hercules did.
Yeah,
Hercules got like a full episode of backstory.
yeah. The only other, I think, the only other person. No, yeah, Zeus didn't get one. The first god didn't get
Yeah,
one.
Zeus, Thor, Poseidon, none of them really had one.
Thor was the only one I think that sort of got one because
Okay.
they talked about why he like became super strong. It was like his
I
battle
remember a
versus
little
the
thing.
giants. Yeah, that was it. So it was interesting, and honestly, for the first character who was a human before, they played that up perfectly because all the people were like, "F Jack the Ripper," but love Hercules. It's like, but also people, if Hercules wins, that's one step closer that all the people are gone.
And just to show, Hercules was such a good guy. He was like, I only want to win to spare everyone.
Yeah.
I'm tired of all this, and we're gonna stop it. Hercules is truly a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And even Jack the Ripper, throughout his entire fight in his episode, we find out that actually he's a pretty tragic story.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe they were trying to be like Shakespearean with it a bit. Not that I know anything about playwriting or anything, but they definitely painted a story of this poor kid. His mother loved him, but really just wanted his, father, who, he abandoned, Jack the Ripper with his mother. Was like, yeah, one day your dad's gonna come back and we're gonna be A-okay. Doesn't work out. He gets married. She gets miserable. Jack snaps, no longer seeing the color of love from his mother, and kills her. And then goes and finds his dad, kills him, and then murder just comes along, and it's such a tragic story, really. And I mean, it's at the very end, I think they really have a great appreciation for each other,
Yeah.
because Hercules has an unwavering love for humanity, and Jack the Ripper is just searching for unwavering love, and finds it in Hercules. And then they have a moment at the end, just kind of like, hey, I love you, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then Jack the Ripper leaves, and everybody hates him.
Yeah.
They throw things at him, like, no, you suck. Nobody wants you to
They
win.
threw a rock at his head. I'm like, are they going to kill him on his way out? I think it was the last season where the Poseidon fight where the human walks out of there and goes, wow, and I have to walk out of here? Like it's a magical place, but I still have to walk all the way out? And I'm like, oh, that still sucks because Jack the Ripper has to walk out. I'm like, is he going to die before leaving the arena because of the people?
It'll be interesting to see if they actually go back to him, since he is the first win. No, he's the second win. My bad. I don't know why I said first.
Yeah. Because they should be tied right now, right?
Yeah, 2-2. I think only other thing I really want to. Well, I mean, there's a couple episodes we could talk about, but another thing I want to talk about is how his relationship with his Valkyrie is so weird, and how it kind of pans out.
It was gross.
It's entirely forced, because Jack the Ripper, he's a monster.
Yep.
Even with his redeeming kind of perspective here, he's definitely a monster. He killed a ton of people, and everybody knows it. And so even his Valkyrie is like, no, I'm not teaming up with him. That's awful. And Jack is like, no, you are, and just does it. And that's why I think it's even creepier how she becomes a set of gloves.
Yeah,
is just stuck there.
His killing hands is the killing hand. Also, what's disgusting is that the final blow is his hands go through Hercules, and I'm like, this guy. And then she
soak him red with blood, right?
Yeah, and then she pops back out and she's covered in Hercules' blood, and I'm like, disgusting. If you don't know, Jack the Ripper killed 5 people, but he mutilated them, and he was never caught. So
I thought it was more than that. I don't know why I thought it was so much more.
5 confirmed, but the reason why he's notorious is because he was never caught.
Oh, sure.
And he killed 5 people in horrible ways. And so that's what makes him notorious and why everybody knows his name, because it was like, oh, he killed 5 people in Whitechapel, a section of London, and then the police were just baffled. It was like, okay, that's crazy. Fact that somebody did that. Yeah. There is a quick moment after this whole battle, after we have this whole connection with the Valkyrie and Jack the Ripper, where we see a couple other characters out of the battle meet up. I don't remember who they are, and it was really kind of a throwaway moment for me, where we see who's the guy with the lollipop?
Buddha.
Okay, so we see Buddha.
It was definitely half throwaway, half kind of cool for me because we get to see some characters doing some interesting stuff. Loki confronts Buddha under suspicion of, hey, are you helping the humans?
Yeah, and then Buddha goes, if I was or wasn't, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I definitely like Buddha just being like, things happen. I don't know, man. Whatever. You got candy? I love candy. It's so weird. But I don't know exactly what he's doing. I think they kind of alluded to it, but I mean, it's definitely all very interesting. And I don't remember who the other characters were. I don't know why.
It was Buddha and the guy from the Poseidon fight.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, I think if anything, that was pretty interesting because Loki shows up, and I think he gets a crew of people. I don't remember who they were, but they were godlings. I'll just call them. Yeah, on the god sides, and then we have Buddha, who's like, let's duke it out, man, with his giant hammer for some reason. And the guy from the fight with Poseidon shows up and like, hey, the humans are here to support you, Buddha. What's up?
Yeah.
It's just a little like,
it also
seriously?
Be like Buddha, kind of just going around doing what Buddha wants, you know?
Yeah.
Everything must be equal.
Balance
in all things, yeah. And then we see a quick preview to the next fight, which we will be chatting about next weekend for our next casual discussion, kind of finishing off season 2, and then who knows what we're gonna do. We're crazy.
Season 2 fight is Shiva versus Raiden Tamimon.
Tamimon Raiden, who is like
said wrong probably
one of the technically the most successful sumo wrestler that ever occurred. What was it? Yokozuna? What is the name? Yeah, Yokozuna. Was never Yokozuna because the title didn't exist before that. But basically was like, yeah, I won 44 bouts in a row, which is an insane number, and no other sumo wrestler has met his KD.
Yeah, and apparently he's got some pretty fun facts about him, which are pretty entertaining.
Yeah, and his announcement in the episode is actually kind of true. Yeah. That's episode 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we'll get to that next week. So a little preview into our casual discussion next time. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Yokozuna.
Also watch Hinamaru Sumo.
Yeah.
So you can learn about sumo before this.
Yeah, so watch this, take a break, watch a completely separate anime. 24 episodes? Yeah, good.
Yeah. Watch that, then come back to these 4 episodes so that way you can understand all about what's going to happen in the fight. Shiva versus Raiden. Very excited about it. So if you have any words you would like to give to Lucky, please comment them down below. I know he will be missed. It'll be Johnny and I for the future, kind of trying to continue our casual discussion We Can Talk and whatever random stuff we're going to throw on this channel. So thank you very much. And as always, keep
it
casual.